started out as a normal day for a young Columbus woman may end up costing her more than she could ever imagine. Her car got stuck on the side of the road in a flower bed, so she called a towing company and is now shocked by the thousands of dollars she says she owes to get her car back. News Theater 9's Amaya Graham has the story.
23-year-old Rashonda Morris was on her way to the gym on November 20th when she lost control of her vehicle before dawn in the rain. It took place near Midland Commons. Her car still worked, but she needed help to get it out. So she called Kohl's Towing and Recovery.
So I called the tow truck to come pull me out. That's all I wanted them to do, just pull me out. They insisted that since all four tires left the roadway that my car had to go back. They kept saying something about an insurance inspection. I told them no, I just want my car pulled out the ditch and I want to be able to drive off. They would not let me drive off with my car.
Morris, who aged out of foster care and doesn't have any family, didn't have anyone in town to call. Luckily, two of her friends from the gym saw her and stopped to help. They all asked how much.
And they would never give them a price. I called the dispatcher lady. She wouldn't give me a price.
Morris says they did text her the invoice.
I clicked on that link, and at the bottom it said view invoice. And at that time I saw $4,300 for pulling me out of the ditch.
I spoke with three other towing companies who say they normally would charge anywhere from $100 to $200 for towing a car out of a muddy flower bed. Morris filed a claim in the Muskogee County Municipal Court the next day to regain possession of her vehicle. On November 25th, Kohl's Towing added additional charges to her bill. Here's what she's being charged for according to the invoice.
And it just shows $4,000 for the recovery. And every day they're adding $33 for storage fees. And as of yesterday, they added the $5,100 fee for court costs and legal fees, with a grand total of $9,291.
Being a school teacher, juggling two jobs, and always working to better herself, Morris says this situation has become a nightmare.
So that's kind of tearing me down financially because I was ready to advance in my career. It's just a lot. I had to call the hotline because this has really been tearing me down mentally.
Hollywood Feed is...
Hey there, YouTubers. Luis here from Tow Universe. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope everybody gets to go have a nice warm dinner with their families and relax a little bit. Considering this industry, it's 24/7, 365. It's always nice to just sit down and relax for a few hours. Well, with that being said, the video that at the start of that I played here, it really boils my blood. And you know, shame on this tow company out of Columbus, Georgia, for doing this. You know, it's as an industry that already has a negative image, when things go publicly like this, it's not a good thing for us. And we as an industry need to strive to do better on both the labor aspect of our industry, the towing and recovery, and the customer service aspect of this industry, because this here is just another black eye to the industry. And Kohl's Towing here, Kohl's Towing and Recovery out of Columbus, Georgia, is just a cancer, and it's a cancer that we don't need. And what he did here to, you know, this poor college student is it's criminal. It is criminal. And judging by the pictures, this should have been an easy winch out, easy recovery, however you want to put it. You can see to the right of her vehicle, to the rear of her vehicle, that she just drove off the parking lot and down into a flower bed. Now, if she drove off the retaining wall, now that's a different story. And I see that what happened here was they saw a young lady and they ended up taking advantage of her. And you could actually see towards the front of her vehicle, there's a big truck, which I'm going to assume is a rotator or a heavy of some sort, that was not needed for the job. You know, my guys could have gotten this with a flatbed, with a rollback, with a flatbed rollback, with a wrecker. You know, geez, with a rope and a few snatch blocks, we could have pulled it out by hand. You know, so it looks like they took opportunity of a vulnerable person, and the backlash that they're going to get is very severe. You know, like this company might have to close down and reopen under another name because their Google reviews have gone to crap. I believe on Google they have about 15 reviews and they've got a 3.1 star. You know, it's horrible. And you start reading through it, and this isn't the first instance that they have done this. And I myself here, we are a Google-based company. Like our reviews speak for themselves. Our reviews are what gets us these cash calls. We're 2 away from having 200 reviews, and we're 5 stars. And you know, you don't do these things because most people, when they're looking for a service, they're gonna jump on Google and they're going to look at the reviews, and that's how they're going to pick their company. It's the same thing with restaurants. When I go to a restaurant, I check the reviews. I read through the reviews. I read how the owner responded to the reviews on the negative ones. And that's how I decide where I'm going to go eat or where I'm going to buy something. And it's very detrimental to a business. And so I started to do a little bit more digging on this company. And on Yelp, same deal. They've got crap reviews, and people actually on Yelp posted some invoice. And don't quote me on this, but I believe there was one for $10,000, and then there was one for $63,000, and they had charged per the pound, and it was something astronomical. I think it was something like $59,000 at 80 cents a pound or something like that for this casualty. Now, mind you, people do charge by the pound and they also do charge by the hour. You know, but to charge this number, for weight for the pounds, it's like, what are we doing? We're buying turkeys here? Like, totally uncalled for, and of course it ended up on Yelp and people are, upset. And anytime things like this hit the media, you're going to have people out of the woodwork that are just going to leave negative reviews, even though they've never utilized your service. And this is something that, it just can't be happening. Because at the end of the day, what's going to happen is companies like Kohl's Towing and Recovery is catching the eye of the Attorney General. And when the government gets involved and they start regulating things, they destroy everything. For example, look at the gas can. The simple gas can that we've been using for so long, they had to come and reinvent it with these stupid nozzles, and they end up being more of a hassle than they need to be. And that is what happens when companies do this. The government gets involved. And it's a black eye to the industry. And this is the reason why when people break down, they treat us the way they treat us, because they have had negative experiences. This is how companies like Auto Return come to be, like Honk come to be. Because if you look at the history of those, the CEOs had a negative experience with these companies, and they said, hey, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to start a tech-based app because I had a negative experience. And now we have companies taking money out of our pockets that we do not need to be losing. So, I don't like bashing tow companies. Don't get me wrong. I've had some really big bills. My biggest bill to date was $65,000. But it was a justified $65,000 because I was on scene for 18 hours doing a burnt casualty car carrier where we had to offload every car. We had this, we had the chain axles up. We had to clean the mess up. And then the car sat in my lot for 57 days until the insurance company figured out what they were doing. And mind you, it was a trailer and 7 cars taking up space. And it was there for 57 days. But I documented everything to the point where the insurance adjuster told me that his job is to negotiate bills, but my invoice was so bulletproof and every charge was justified that he just didn't have anything to negotiate against. And like I said, if you're going to be charging stuff, whether it's, $100 tow or $100 recovery or something in the 60, 100,000s, it needs to be justified. And not once in this guy's invoice do you see anything on the notes, whether she was sitting on a drain, a fire hydrant, nothing like that. It just shows the charges. And what drives me nuts as well is how the moment she put a civil suit in, he upped her bill from $4,000 to just under $10,000 and hit her with a fee, I think of $5,100 for court costs and legal fees. I mean, like, what more can you do to this college student? You know, so, you know, shame on Coast Towing. I hope that they get everything that's coming from them, and I hope that this young lady gets the justice that she deserves. And me, quite frankly, I hope Coast Towing and Recovery goes out of business. You know, we don't need this in this industry, to be honest with you. And I hate saying stuff like that, but they did it to themselves. So, with that being said, I hope everybody has a nice Thanksgiving, and hit the like and subscribe button. Slow down, move over, and be careful out there.